So, we have one more thing to talk about today, and that is Throne of Theros Beyond Death. Now, Magic said, obviously, the trailer came out today, and I'll admit, the trailer compared to, like, the last two is a little underwhelming, but from a story perspective, it does give us some interesting ideas of what might be going on in the story. For some reason, Ashiok has plans for Elspeth. Now, what those plans are, we'll have to wait and see. But a while back, apparently someone had gotten their hands on some packs somehow and opened up and spoiled and showed off some cards. Now, those were never officially spoiled. But what has been officially spoiled is the Bio Box promos, a couple of mythic rares, and the mechanics. Now, when the actual spoiler season for this set actually starts, I don't know for certain. I actually have to check on that, because I'll probably be able to figure it out if I go find out what the release date is. I'm not going to do that right now. But what we're going to do, obviously, is look over the cards now they're officially spoiled. And I'm just going to go to each one, and we're going to look them over. So, I mean, we obviously knew, if we went back to Theros, Elspeth was going to be a character that was going to show back up. And this, I mean, Elspeth's son's Nemesis. Now, this shows off one of the new, probably the only new mechanic now that I look at it, is Escape. Now, Escape is essentially you pay a mana cost, exile a certain amount of cards, or do some effect, and then you cast the card from your graveyard again. So, as a Planeswalker, she's a 5 loyalty Planeswalker for 2 white and 2 of any color. Good stats so far. She has a -1 ability, where up to 2 target creatures you control get +2/+1 until the end of turn. Assuming you have creatures, that's good. Then you can -2, or you can -2 and create 2 1/1 white human creature tokens. Obviously, using conjunction with the -1, you have yourself a little army right there. Or you can just pay 3 and gain 5 life, which is fine. It is probably the weakest of the abilities because, I mean, if you're behind on life, you're probably going to want to put the 2 bodies on the field instead of gaining life. But that's assuming you don't have bodies on the field already. And in that case, you already have bodies on the field. Why not pump them up? If you're behind, it all depends on what you want to do. But you'll notice this is a Planeswalker that only has minus abilities. Now, if you would, thankfully, it's in the standard where it's got Proliferate, thanks to War of the Spark. So it's probably like you'll be able to do more with this than just what's on the card. But clearly what it's actually supposed to be is you're able to recast her over and over and over again. Just because she's coming back from dead until eventually there's nothing left in the graveyard you can recast her with. And art-wise, I will say it is an interesting card design, only because of what the staff is. I mean, Elspeth looks like Elspeth, but her staff isn't just like a spear. It's dripping, gooey, nightmarish, implying Ashiok has something to do with this. So it's an interesting card. I can definitely find use for it in like my Planeswalker deck because I got a bunch of Proliferate in there. And then you get the special art version of her. Ashiok's got one too. Our Ashiok's is a lot better than hers, I'll say that. She's easy to cast initially. The escape's a little steep, especially if you're playing a deck that might need cards in the graveyard, in which case you probably wouldn't be playing her anyway. I don't know. I'm on the fence with her. She's got the potential, but unlike other cards, unlike other Planeswalkers, I think this is the big problem. She doesn't have the bomb ability. Like, all of her abilities she could use literally right off the bat, but she doesn't have anything that's like a ooh wow ability. The fact that you can recast her is fine, but there's other cards that do that, and there's probably going to honestly be other escape cards that do this effect better. We'll look at another one. I don't know if it does it better, but that does do it. But Ashiok, Nightmare Muse. 1 black, 1 blue, 3 of any color for a 5 loyalty of legendary Planeswalker Ashiok, mythic rare, obviously. +1, create a 2/2 blue and black. Wait, is that a 2/1? No, that's a 2/3. Oh, that's an interesting token. Create a 2/3 blue and black nightmare creature token with whenever this card attacks or blocks, each opponent exiles the top 2 cards of their library. Already digging it. You can -3, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and then that player exiles a card from their hand. Again, I'm digging it. And then -7, you may cast up to 3 face-up cards your opponents own from exile without paying their mana cost. Look, in the deck that you'll use Ashiok in, and that I think is the real key here, is that in the deck that would actually use this type of effect, Ashiok is going to be a powerhouse. Ashiok already defends himself by putting a creature on the field, and that creature does something just by blocking it. I know a lot of people aren't big fans of mill decks in the sense of milling your opponent, but this isn't mill in the sense of going to the graveyard, which a lot of people like to do stuff with. This is milling exiling, which has a bigger impact because that's less resources. The exile zone, while in a very small capacity is a resource area, it's a very small capacity that has not been utilized very much yet. So right now there isn't really much in the ways of getting things out of exile. Like you got some things like the Eldrazi processors and stuff like that, but that's close to it. You get one or two, like, what was it, Miss Hollow Sphinx, which can be cast from exile. So right off the bat, those Nightmare tokens are going to be extremely useful on attacking offense and defense. But then you can bounce something if you don't want to do that. By the way, adding a creature on the field as the plus ability is immensely more advantageous than the vice versa here. Instead of minusing 3 to get the creature and plus wanting to return something. Now, granted, the plus wanting to return something still puts you ahead of your opponent because you would be able to clear something off the field. But it's honestly more important. It's usually better to have a body on the field and then save that one for later. And if you can then somehow get to the 7, good on you. There's not much else I can say on the 7. The 7 is your typical Planeswalker ability. But still, it's a good card overall. And that's 2 of the Planeswalkers we got coming in Theros Beyond Death to begin with. And by the way, there's Ashiok's pretty cool alternate art. That's a cool alternate art for Ashiok. I like that. But those are two of what are most likely going to be our 3 Planeswalkers in Theros Beyond Death. So the question quickly becomes, who's the 3rd Planeswalker? You can probably get at least somewhat of an idea. It's either going to be a new character or a returning character. Like, look at Throne of Eldraine. We had 2 returning characters, technically 3 when you count Will and Rowan as one character. And they were returning characters, not new characters. Garruk. And then you had, oh god, I actually can't remember that guy's name. But the green-blue Fae shapeshifter. You had him. And he was the new one. So something tells me that if it's not a Ajani, first off, and that would be my best guess on the 3rd one being a returning Planeswalker is Ajani, because he just has a large history with Elspeth. But the problem with that is we would then have 2 white Planeswalkers. He'd be green, luckily, so that would balance it out a little bit. But we always had a balance in Eldraine. We didn't have a white Planeswalker, so that might be a way to counterbalance that. My best guess, though, it's either going to be a green-red Planeswalker or it's just going to be a green-something Planeswalker. So it's either going to be a Johnny in green-white or someone, a new person, in green-red. Because actually, besides, obviously, the green-red Planeswalkers that we had in War of the Spark, but we had every color War of the Spark, so that doesn't really count in my mind. We had Domir, but Domir's gone, so we might need a new red Planeswalker. When you break it down, Sarkhan's not, Sarkhan is just solid red, but he was a Temur color Planeswalker by the end of Tarkir. It came back as a solid red, but that doesn't mean he'll be that again. So, Sarkhan's no longer a green-red Planeswalker. Domir's dead. Xenagos is dead. We do have Samut, so we do have her. But other than that, no, actually, we'd be due for a new green-red Planeswalker. So that's very possible. The gods will be back in the set on some level. However, Athreos, Shroud-Veiled, is not one of the gods in the set. He is the buy-a-box promo. And I'll say this right now. I have to see the rest of the set. I've only bought ever 4 boxes in my entire life. Now I say it out loud. I got to order the box of Cold Snap online one time. An Avacyn Restored box, Kaladesh, and War of the Spark. Those have only been the only 4 sets I've ever gotten a full box on. But I'll tell you right now, if the set looks good to me as War of the Spark did, or one of the other ones I did get a box on, this guy's definitely would be worth it. I mean, look, they still have the same effect as the gods did in Theros. So, devotion, that's when they become creatures. Otherwise, they're not creatures. They're just indestructible enchantments. But he's a lot more expensive than his previous form. A 4/7 for 6, black and white, and 4 of any color. So, more expensive, definitely. But at the beginning of your end step, you put a coin counter on another target creature. And whenever a creature with a coin counter on it dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. So really, if all you want to do is stall the hell out of someone for a little bit, bring this thing out, particularly in a commander set or a commander deck, this thing, nothing will die. Nothing is ever going to die. Ever. Period. End of story. But yeah, that's the Buy-A-Box promo. You get these, I will say, not necessarily what I would like with land, because I like to see environments. But look, your big thing is going into the underworld. So these are still cool. These are really cool to look at. I like them visually. They look really nice, and I'm sure at foil they're gonna look fantastic. Setessan Champion is a 1/3 in human warrior, 1 green and 2 of any color. For rare, Constellation is back. No, I'm a fan of Constellation. I actually like that ability. Whenever enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1 counter on this card and draw a card. So I've heard people say it's a strictly better Edion's Blossom. That was the name of the card, I believe. Well, I actually have a copy of that. And yeah, it is, because that also drew a card, but I believe it was like 1 more mana. I think it was a 2/2. This one's a 1/3, and it gets stronger the more you do it. So it's a strictly better version of that. So yeah, absolutely, it's a good card. Let me see here. What else we got? Because we got a couple things here. We got quite a few things. So actually, I'm just going to honestly keep the cards here right now instead of just continually going back to it. Underworld Ragehound is 1 red, 1 of any color for a 3/1 elemental hound, common. Attacks each turn, each combat if able. It also has escape. Its case is, though, exile 3 other cards from your graveyard instead of the 4 you do with Elspeth. I got to pay 4 mana. When it escapes, you put a +1 counter on it. So you're either got a 3/1 that attacks each turn, or you got a 4/2 that attacks each turn, and you got to get rid of some cards for that. It's okay. It's a 3/1 for 2 with no real downside except you got to attack. But 3/1 with a 3/1 for 2. It's already got a low butt, which means it would be killed by burn spells, so you're probably going to be on the offensive anyway. So it's not bad. Daxos, Blessed by the Sun, which is the lover of, or former lover of Elspeth, which is very interesting, I believe. I believe that's the former lover of Elspeth. 2 white for a 2-star legendary enchantment creature, Demigod. It's a new creature type, which is awesome. Toughness is equal to your devotion to white, which means automatically this creature has a 2 toughness. And then you can continually beef up his ass from there. Whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, you gain 1 life. That's value. There you go. Because it's whenever another creature enters the battlefield battlefield or dies. You control. So honestly, you can put this in a token deck. Remember, it's not casting, it's creatures entering the battlefield. So tokens enter the battlefield as creatures. So Sapperling deck. Oh, actually, now that I say that out loud, yeah, I want this in my Sapperling deck. Because this thing's just going to wreak havoc with life. And then they'll pop, they'll die, and you'll gain another life. So, yeah, actually, this guy is actually really good. And he's only uncommon. So, yeah, really good. Now, here's a little interesting thing. I want to see if I get this name right. Clothius? Or Clothis? Clothius' design. 1 green, 5 of any color. Creatures you control get +X/+X till the end of turn, where X is your devotion to green. Decent card. All creatures, mind you. So you get enough small guys on the field, you're going to overrun someone. But the thing is, the God of Destiny grants her followers visions deeper than night, or deeper than sight. Clothius, I'm not going to say it's Clothius, is a new god that we're getting in the set. Now, I looked into it, or I saw some people commenting on it. Apparently, she is the red-green god that used to exist, but was imprisoned for some reason in the underworld. I think because Heliod's just a dick. And he is. And And then Xenagos took her place. So clearly, the boundaries of the underworld and like Nyx are going to basically kind of be broken on this plane, and she's going to get loose. She's going to escape. So that is really interesting. In terms of the card, it's a good card. It's a good beefy bomb later on in this game. The Acrone War sagas are now in this set, so it makes sense to have sagas would be back. 1 red, 3 of any color. Obviously, sagas work the same way. When it enters the battlefield, and after your draw step, you put a lore counter on it. And then sacrifice after 3. So the first one is you gain control of target creature as long as this card remains on the battlefield, which is actually really good. Until next turn, creatures your opponent control attack each combat if able. And then the final one is each tapped creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. I'll actually fully admit, this one I don't get. No, you know what? I do get it. I take that back, because what it is you take their creature. If they have a creature, then they're going to end up duking you out. And then hopefully their creature is going to be tapped by the time you get to 3 after attacking, and therefore they kill themselves. Okay. Might be good in like a red-white deck if you can tap, or white-blue deck if you tap things down. There's better sagas. We'll probably see better sagas. Hero of the Winds, 1 white, 3 of any color for a 1/4 human soldier. Uncommon, flying. Whenever you cast a spell that targets this card, it gets +1/+0. Clearly, they didn't want to actually bring the keyword heroic back, but they still want to have something akin to it in the set, so that's what we're getting. And as a card, this is okay. Honestly, heroic was a lot better. Like, it's a 1/4 flying for 4. That's a little hefty for not much in terms of offense. If it were maybe 2/4, then it would be a bit more evened out. I think it's a bit more worth it. But frankly, because that's the problem, is that this isn't like prowess where you just cast the spell and the effect happens. This is you have to target this guy. And yes, if you're targeting him, you're probably targeting him with a spell that pumps him up. So you are getting that benefit. So I guess it's okay. But I don't know. It's not that great. Indomitable Will, 1 white, 1 of any color for a... Oh, who do we got there in the background? Okay, it is Athreos, the white-red god. Flash, enchant creature, get +1/+2 for 2. It's just a good card. It's a good little combat trick. It's a good little pump. Revoke Existence gets a reprint. It just exiles target artifact or enchantment, which in this set, when you're dealing with like the gods and stuff that are indestructible, definitely going to be useful. Idion of Philosophy, 1 blue, 1 for a 1/2. Sacrifice this card by paying 1 blue and 6 of any color. Draw 3 cards. Yeah, no, that's not a very good card. I'll just say that right now, in my opinion. That's not a good card. 1/2 for 1. You get a little bit of a butt. It does nothing until you get 7 mana. Or 7 to play that ability. And then you're getting 3 cards for 7 mana. There are better cards. Look, 3 cards is a lot, absolutely, but 7 mana is a heavy investment. Like, seriously, you would have to have no cards in your hand and down with nothing else going on to warrant using this ability. And then you're probably screwed anyway. So, no, that's not a good card. Mire's Grass, 1 black, 1 of any color for Aura enchantment. My creature gets -3/-3. It's dead weight, but stronger. So, yeah, I'll use it. I think it's actually kind of similar to Last Gasp, except that enchantment. Inevitable End. Oh, this is a sad one. 1 black, 2 of any color for enchantment. Enchant creature at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. Frankly, I think people are just going to sacrifice the creature you equip, unless it's like their big bomb, in which case then they may be forced to keep, or, something that's really doing work for them, in which case then they might be forced to, unless it's saying sacrifice another creature or something like that, then that might be different, but it's not that great. Alia sat and stared blank. Okay, that's the person's name. Memory Drain, 2 blue, 2 of any color for an instant common counter target spell and scry 2. That's honestly a decent counter spell. You're getting upside not just by countering, but by scrying 2, so it's solid in my book. Commanding Presence, 1 white, 3 of any color for a enchantment aura, uncommon. Enchant creature gets +2/+2 and has first strike. And whenever this creature does combat damage to a player, mind you, player, not creature, create a 1/1 human soldier. So, look, that's good. They're already getting +1, +2/+2, and first strike, so that's pretty solid. Even at 4 mana, it's not terrible at all. And you get a little advantage if you hit someone. But if you're already able to hit them, then unless this is attached to, for instance, unless this is attached to, say, Hero of the Winds, which means you'll turn it into a 3/6 with first strike and flying, and 4/6 actually, because they'll get the +1. So then you might have something going on there. Nyxborn Courser, sorry. 2 white, 1 of any color for 2/4 Centaur Scout enchantment creature. So at this point now we're just seeing enchantment creatures that are vanilla, which is actually not a bad idea. I don't think we got any actual vanilla enchantment creatures in any of the last sets or any in the last Theros blocks. So it's actually cool to see vanilla enchantment creatures. And it does give us some more design space a little bit. 2/4 for 3, that's actually pretty okay. And the Nyxborn Colossus is 3 green, 3 of any color for a 6/7 giant enchantment creature. Love the art on that, by the way. Really good art. It's a 6/7 for 6. It's above the curve, so definitely. And last but not least, Staggering Insight. 1 blue, 1 white. Enchant aura. Enchant creature gets +1/+1. Lifelink, and whenever this creature does combat damage to a player, draw a card. I like that better than the other one. It's cheaper. It's easier to cast. Its abilities are a bit more relevant. Oh, well, First Strike is relevant in combat. But its draw ability is honestly going to be more relevant probably than the creating soldier ability. So ultimately, I like it. I do like it better than the Commanding Presence. So I do like it better. Until then, though, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I don't know what I'm going to label this video as. I'll have to think about that later on. But this isn't spoiler season right now, or previous season. We'll get to previous season later. But until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.